Okay, so you're looking at our drive executable that we can actually run, and I'm currently running under WSL2, so it might be a bit laggy. So as I will do some stuff. Now, our drive allows us to mount RChain basically to our file system, and let's do just that. All we have to do is to run this command. The input is too laggy. There we go.
So just to make sure that we're, I understand what we're seeing. The window in the back of the screen, that's the log from the node. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's my devnet.
Yeah, exactly. So when you issue a command into the front window, we're seeing the node respond to that command in the back window.
Exactly. So I want you to see deploys coming in as I move files and stuff.
Perfect.
Okay, our drive is ready, so we should be able to see it in this folder. So let's open it up in File Manager. There it is, and our drive initially created a folder for us called hotel because I added it to the command line. But in this folder we also have a hidden file, which is .token.conf, and it essentially has a price set to 5ref by default. We can actually change that, and every time a file is dropped into this folder, it will essentially put it automatically for sale. So what we can do is mint and mass mint NFTs by just drag and dropping files. Let me demonstrate that. Let's take the art from, can someone remind me the artist behind those, so we give proper credit?
I forget the name of the artist, but this is an associate of Rue in RTC, where we got this in.
Yeah.
So let's turn them into NFTs. We highlight them all, drag and drop. Okay. And we go to ArcDrive and we see a progress bar for each of the files, and we watch them in real time. Please note that caching currently is broken. I broke it recently, so I will have to restart the ArcDrive every time I do stuff, just in case. Just wait for some deploys to come in. You can try to bypass the cache and fetch data from the chain, and data doesn't exist yet, so that's why you see those errors. So just ignore them.
Yeah. So they're all uploading concurrently. That's amazing.
Yeah, our drive tries to smartly compact as much as possible into as little deploys as possible. So essentially all the files will fit into one deploy, you'll see, because they are small enough to fit into one deploy. Yes. But our drive is also LLVM ready, so we can essentially, we can basically tell it to use multiple validators. And what it will do is essentially deploy chunks to all the validators simultaneously. So as you can see here in the background, we have a deploy, and it has created 6 NFTs, and each of them also has a price and data. So they all fit into one deploy. We see the progress bar updated. So they're all done. So what I just did, I just minted 6 NFTs with a simple drag and drop and put them for sale. Anyone can simply buy them.
And that data is going right on chain, right? It's not going into some file system somewhere else. It's going directly on chain.
Yes, all data is on RChain.
Amazing.
Okay, let's clear the cache. So we're gonna restart this just in case. Oh.
So just to elaborate a little bit, there's actually logic in here to not only deploy multiple files at the same time with concurrency, but there's also some throttling logic in here to make sure that the network is not overwhelmed in any one given node.
Fantastic. That's great. So, Theo, are you ready for the next phase, or do you still need to do some stuff?
Yeah,
okay,
I just forgot to copy master register URI. I hope it's the correct one.
Okay.
Let's see, do we have the files here? Yeah, so you should see them loading from the chain and generating thumbnails. And those my NFT files are essentially config files that show how much, like some properties of the NFT. So you can see how much they cost, like 5 ref in this case. Yeah, we can do files. What else can we do? We can do music. I can just hide hidden files. And let's upload some music. I have a few. I have downloaded like a collection of NCS release, and which is free music, and we can drag and drop them. Like I'm gonna keep it small for now. Just 4 files for now. And let's see the progress. So before we uploaded, how much was it? 5 megabytes. This time we're uploading 15. It's not that much, but I'm trying to keep this demo short.
No, I get it, right? And anyone who uploads either to SoundCloud or Bandcamp knows that it's non-trivial to upload a bunch of files to Bandcamp. They know that it's going to take some time, and we don't have to spin our wheels too much waiting for a bunch of files to upload just to get we're just trying to get the point across that this works at the same kind of industry standards that you might expect from Bandcamp or SoundCloud or Dropbox or any of these other file sharing services.
Yeah, I mean, even an upload to Google Drive takes time for some of this stuff.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And it will only get faster with LLVM, because, like I said, we can upload chunks to multiple validators at once, and then network reconstructs the data into correct files.
Historically, one of the first things I did with the very first sort of form of hard drive, way back, right at the very beginning when it was RFM, and I think that you guys, Theo, added a download so I could download whatever I uploaded. And I remember going to find something of significance to upload to RChain because I wanted to be able to really mark the occasion of uploading this audio file, even though our song pre-existed. This was through our drive, and the track that I chose to upload was Thomas Edison saying, "Mary had a little lamb." I thought that was the most appropriate thing to do. So it's nice, and that took quite a long time to upload compared to where we are now, and the capabilities that we have with our drive today. I thought I'd just add that little historical note to it.
And it's a great note. It's very meta for the millennials.
Yeah, somewhere on a test net, Thomas Edison lives.
I think it's important to understand here that this technology that we're looking at here, uploading music and whatnot, and what you're about to see that comes after this technology, we've only been working on this for 8 months or so, and with basically 1.5 people. So this has come a long way.
And important to note, given various discussions on Discord, that contrary to popular belief, the staff that have worked on this have not been paid a bean since 1st of November.
So one of the things that for those musicians out there and people who make beats and who DJ. If you drag and drop some music files like these into GarageBand, GarageBand will immediately tell you what it thinks the time signature is, what it thinks the tempo is, and what it thinks the key is for the song, assuming that it stays in one key. And so we can easily use those algorithms from GarageBand. There are open source versions of those algorithms, and use Rolang to search for music assets on that basis. So think about how difficult that would be if you were doing this in an architecture like we see with, you know, the modern NFT marketplaces, because the assets are stored in IPFS, and getting to them you have to go through Ethereum. So, you know, you're now looking at 2 layers of unsearchability before you could get to the assets. Or here, you can go straight to the assets because they're on chain, and you can use Rolang as a query language to go search for these music files on that basis. Right? So you could now search for songs in the key of C, or songs that are at 180 beats per minute, or songs that are in 4/4, or songs that are in 12/8.
Songs in the key of life.
Exactly. You can search. You can use Rolang, which is not only a concurrent smart contracting language, but also a query language, to go and query your data assets for those kinds of properties. So I'm looking at your deploys, Theo. About where do you think we are?
Yeah, we should be done any second now.
Okay.
There we go. Now, all done. Now, what do we do? Let me just close this, restart the application to clear the cache, because I want to prove that the data is actually on the chain.
Yeah. And
restart our drive. Now, instead of opening File Manager, I am going to run this open source program and go to this address. I only provided it with a folder called with a RChain folder. I didn't specify which folder it should look at. So I'm going to create an account with the same name as my folder, create a password. And now I have an account. Now I don't have any songs because it hasn't scanned any. Yeah, so I'm going to press this button, and once I do that, it's going to scan the files that I just uploaded that are in my folder,
which is actually
in
on
my
chain.
archive. Yeah, which is actually on chain, exactly.
Fantastic.
So I'm just telling this application, hey, give me all the music files that are in my archive. So I think it's scanned now. As you can see, all the 4 files are here. I just uploaded.
This is
now
amazing.
I can actually play them. Can you hear?
Yes. That's amazing, Theo. By having our drive make the chain look like a file system, you're able to glue it into all these off-the-shelf tools, like the file manager or this music browser. This is amazing, right?
Yeah. Now we have something, an alternative to our song that runs on RChain. And we didn't have to engineer a bunch of stuff. We just made RChain, and that's all we need.
Fantastic. This is just genius. Beautiful, beautiful. So what about other file types? What else could you do?
We can do videos and stream
Whoa.
videos.
I gotta see this.
Although not in 4K, not until I add the Tor mode to our node.
And can you use a sort of bog standard video player?
Yeah. So I'm going to take the smallest file I have just so that we can actually continue with today's meeting.
Yeah,
and wait for it to upload. So I actually uploaded like 100 megabyte files and without issues.
That's fantastic. This is awesome. Well, I mean, what I was mentioning, while we're waiting for the file to upload, what I was mentioning, I think at the RPC meeting today is something that I mentioned way back in the scenario days that I imagined, whether it's a band making a release video or releasing an album, they could start with an R drive that just the band has access to. And then put the first seeds of songs, right? And then they go into the studio and they make some mixes of some of the songs, and they extend that folder so that the engineer and the producer and maybe the artist and the marketer have access to the video. And the more they go along, the more they put little snippets of the production, the process of making the album. And so by the time they get to the release, first they invite their VIP fans, their super fans, to that folder where they can see not just the finished product, the actual songs, but the making of, and all of the little outtakes, all of the little funny photos, and all of that would be available on that drive. And then when they get to the final release date, they open it up to their whole audience. And they can market that however they want. You could see how the recording of the process of making the album would really dramatically increase the monetization of that effort. And it doesn't stop with bands, right? A dance troupe could do the same thing, right? Imagine Cirque du Soleil, recording all of the training and the high wire hijinks that happen as they're trying to put together a show, and that goes as a part of the material that gets released when they roll out their next production, right? And it's all on our drive. So where are we? We anywhere close?
Halfway there.
Okay.
Almost there.
So I really think people need to be thinking about the different ways that our drive and RChain can be used to increase their presence in the market. So, for example, today when people release NFTs, they have to do a lot of social hype to hype up to get some visibility, because you can't search for the NFTs on these marketplaces. But now, not only can you search for the properties of these NFTs, but there's more that you can offer with that NFT. You can offer artifacts of the entire process, which is a much bigger play than anything we've seen with the NFT market.
Yeah, I think we're done. Now we can go into File Manager. Again, I'm going to close this and restart the application to clear any caches that I have. But you can see that we're actually pulling data from chain. And like I wanted to show you before, here we have validator hosts, right? And we have only one. I can actually add more. And once we have LLVM, it will actually take full advantage of having multiple validators and actually of RChain scalability.
Yep.
Okay, now I'm going to open File Manager again. All our files are still in here, not going anywhere. Now let's try to play this in VLC. Keep in mind that I'm using WSL, so my system is a bit slower. So native Linux and macOS users will actually have smoother experience. There we go. Just some gameplay footage. There was a bit of lag in recording, so.
Yeah, so not all the lag we're seeing is actually lag from the system. It's actually lag that was
exactly.
in the video. Yeah, very good.
That doesn't give it justice.
I'm still. I mean, it's already amazing. Like, you know, it takes a half an hour to upload a megabyte to Ethereum, right?
How much will it cost?
And how much will it cost exactly? This is fantastic, right? This is the kind of experience that we want people to have, where the blockchain is just another part of the tool ecosystem that they just use and they don't even think about it so much. Right. It's just it's a part of their extended internet brain. Fantastic. This is absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much.
At one point, we'll be able to stream like 4K videos without it from the blockchain. Once we add the torrent client to our node, so it's still halfway through.
Wow.
That would at least give us the best read performance possible.
So this is amazing. This is really great. Any questions for Theo? All right.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
Nice job, Theo.
Exactly the sort of, and you know what? Theo's been doing this on his own reconnaissance. And any member of the co-op who is technically minded or who knows some folks who are technically minded, they could have gotten together and done this. Right? Theo is not running on some special version of Node. He's running on 013
Alpha 3.
Yeah, right. So and this plugs into to something I want to talk about. So I know that many people have heard me give this little spiel, but it bears repeating in this context, now that you've seen for yourself what you can do with the existing RChain. Back in the 80s, so a long time ago, like, you know, when people were still riding dinosaurs, you could write some C code and sit on your hands for 2 years, do nothing. And then the new chipset would come out and your code would be twice as fast, if not more. You didn't change the code at all, but the chips changed. And so you got more performance from your code. Now that stopped in the early 2000s. Certainly by 2005, that wasn't happening anymore. Unless your code made use of concurrency, unless your code used multiple threads. And that trend of using multiple threads is only continuing, right? And so if you wrote some C code or some Java code and you didn't take very clever advantage of concurrency, your code could actually get slower with the new chipset. Now, what RChain has done is to make it so that you can write your code like Theo has done, and you can sit on your hands and not do anything, and your code is going to get faster. So Theo's written some code, Raphael's written some code. We have RGov and RVote. We have RChat, and we have several enterprise engagements. And they're all writing code right now. Some of this code is 2 years old. And it's only going to get faster. Like, the code isn't going to change. You don't have to wait for RChain to have these improvements. No, your code is going to be the same, and it's just going to get faster. So it will get faster with LLVM. And it will get faster as the rolling 1.1 optimizations come in. But it will also get faster as the hardware market delivers more and more physical threads at lower and lower cost and less power consumption. This is the point of the RChain architecture. Anyone who's not writing Rolang now is simply making excuses. You can write your code now, and it will only get faster as the features of RChain get rolled out and more features come online. So don't wait. Build your dApps now. Any questions about that?
Yeah, that's great. I just want to say, as a developer, that the fun thing is that it's very hard to write code that is not concurrent in a Roland. So we
yeah, you're absolutely right, Raphael. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It was the music to my ears. Go ahead.
No, that's it. It's just that by default, any developer working with the Roland will benefit from the thing you said about faster execution time. That's it.
Thank you. Yeah. So really, I think people need to understand what we've been trying to say all along. In 2018, we demonstrated delivering audio data from chain. And now we're doing it again, and video data, and a whole lot more. And now Theo and Bill and others have demonstrated the value of how, if you integrate it into the existing ecosystem, which has been the plan all along, make RChain smoothly integrable into the existing tool sets. And this is what you can do with RChain. So that Granny can use it, and DJs can use it, and graphic artists can use it. Anybody can use it, and they use it with the tools that they're already familiar with.